spawning down in the bottom left hand position as the pink Zerg player, representing my insanity, it is DaNa. I said pink, not teal, because I'm colorblind. And his opponent down in the bottom right, the purple Zerg, representing Vega Squadron, it's LiveZerg. I would award him his +1 win on the overlays now, because he went for a bit of early pool aggression with some banelings. 10 pull into quick gas, into quick banelings, was able to take that first victory. One more game, one more win, and he levels this clan war out. And that is exactly what his teammates are going to want him to be doing. For the moment though, not going to be going for that early aggression. Frost is a much bigger map for spawn position, and therefore you can't really risk going for something like a 10 pull. It'd be very, very brave when you don't know where your opponent's spawning. They're both going to discover where they are a bit later than they otherwise would have, considering, because basically there's two places these overlords can meet if you're spawning in these positions. Either in the center here, when they know about here, where their other one is spawning, or around here-ish. And that's where they're going to be, just because they both scouted anti-clockwise. LiveZerg really mixing things up now, going to be going for that hatch first opening. So is DaNa now. So both of these two really just syncing up in their build orders. No early aggression coming down. Both feeling confident to go for this since they haven't bumped heads. But, of course, now they are aware where the other is spawning. Instantly pulling overlords to start mapping out the area between their two bases and the rush distances. All looking pretty solid. So, for the moment, not too much is going on. Just going to be very passive for the time being. DaNa opting to go for gas before pull. Meanwhile, LiveZerg instead just going pull gas. So not much variation there. Just means LiveZerg will get out the queens a bit earlier. The option for lings a bit earlier. But DaNa will get Zergling speed, Baneling Nest and tech sooner. So that's how things are all going to start tying up and how they are going to be going down. But more importantly, I'm just keeping a good eye on drone counts and things like that. Currently both tied at 17. No lava on the field at the moment. Should be seeing a couple pop out soon. But without queens, there's not any injects, and therefore not too much in terms of big pressure opportunities. Other key thing to note is if DaNa decides to pull any drones out of gas, and likewise if LiveZerg does, that's going to decide whether they're just getting some speed down, or if they're going for a more tech-heavy route, getting Baneling Nests fast, etc. Keeping 3 drones in would suggest that the Baneling Nest is going to be coming on quite quickly. I'd imagine they both will keep all drones in gas, simply because they went hatch first. You need that Baneling Nest up just to be on the safe side, and indeed, that is what's going to be occurring here. Everything pretty much standard from both of these two, and I'm fairly happy to see that. It means we get a bit of a longer game, and things will be going a tad more intense. So, speed is coming down for both of these two players, about 10 seconds ahead at the moment for DaNa compared to LiveZerg. But LiveZerg is sitting with a good economy, well, both players pretty much on the same drone count, fractional differences. First difference is now appearing though, as LiveZerg opts to get the Baneling Nest, whereas DaNa gets the Evolution Chamber. Now, if this Evolution Chamber does lead to +1 Carapace coming down, that can lead to some very interesting stuff. Obviously then, it takes 2 Banelings to kill Zerglings, which means that you can defend Ling Bling with just Zerglings quite nicely. But it takes a long time to get out. Banelings hit before that. Could also be for +1 missile attack, but considering DaNa is getting down a lot of Lings here, I'm expecting it to be either +1 melee attack or +1 Carapace. Should be Carapace. There we go. So, this now means Lings take 2 hits to be killed by Banelings. That's really going to help with any trades you get there. Other than that, not too much getting seen. Where is the rally point? Straight across the map. So, DaNa being very bold with this. LiveZerg gets the scout now, sees those Lings streaming across. What's he got in terms of defense? Well, Baneling's already morphing. He's got 2 queens. He's going to pull those to the ramp just to make sure that he's safe in case this is some kind of speedling all-in. But that's not what's happening. The lair is starting up behind this for DaNa, just getting these 12 Lings out at the moment. LiveZerg getting 16 Lings, so already this is where, actually, LiveZerg is slightly overreacting to what's coming, through not knowing exactly what else is there. +1 Carapace not in effect at the moment, so those Lings aren't able to take more than 1 hit from the Banelings before dying. And as a result, DaNa from all of this pressure is slightly up in the drone count since LiveZerg was forced to make more lings than he potentially needed. Also adding in 2 spine crawlers here. This is quite an interesting choice. I'm wondering what he's seen from this. He's coming to scout now. Saw the spine crawlers coming down from DaNa, but the lair timing from the Mind Sanity player is a bit later than that of LiveZerg. LiveZerg though does not have a spire coming down. Is just adding on his 3rd gas. There's the spire now. But DaNa is also on 4 gas, is getting his own spire down pretty soon. Both going to be going up against each other for the moment. Just lings, no banelings waddled their way across the map for the moment. And well, very normal placing. Both Zerg players rush up into Mutalisks. Ling's going to be going a little bit of duking out, of course. Once this +1 carapace kicks in for DaNa, that's going to be helpful. Going to just mean all the trades go a little bit better there. So I'd imagine both going to be fairly passive for the time being. Then once we enter the muta on muta stage, we start having some, well, 3 key areas that will decide which way this goes. First one is whether or not one player has significantly more Mutalisks than the other. That's probably the biggest thing. Next up is you have to start looking there and going, well, okay, who has the better Mutalisk upgrades, specifically the carapace upgrades to reduce the damage of the bounce. And then does either player have Zerglings underneath the muta blocks if they engage to soak up some of those bounces too. Other things that can play into it is if one player keeps up their 3rd, obviously, while the other falls, that can be really bad times for the person who loses it, as those 5th and 6th gas geysers really important to getting out a sizable number of Mutalisks. Now, for the moment, LiveZerg is sending a couple of lings over, as we see their carapace upgrade, allowing those Zerglings to just survive. But LiveZerg pumping out a good number of units. Gotta be careful here, a couple of banelings are manually getting detonated. LiveZerg putting on some pressure, could very well get the cancel here, trying to trade these banelings as efficiently as possible, but the cancel is gonna have to go down. Very frustrating. DaNa definitely needs the counter push now. Is able to get a couple more Mutalisks out compared to his opponent just due to the banelings that have been morphed in. Have got LiveZerg's gas a tad lower. LiveZerg though has got a decent amount of gas banked up, so should be making some more, but for the moment just streaming in with a good number of lings to the main base of DaNa, and that's getting a handful of drone kills. But the 3rd hatch is about to complete. Is there anything to defend with all the Mutalisks coming out at the moment? 3 workers killed, the current worker count just favouring DaNa still though. However, DaNa gonna lose an Overlord. That 3rd base much behind. The 5th and 6th gas guys is critical. But Mutalisks gonna be making their way forward for the Mind Sanity player at the moment. Gonna be trying to pick some stuff off. But of course, LiveZerg coming to intercept this. Does have the Queen there for the defender's advantage. Forces it back for the time being. Lings heading towards the 3rd though. If DaNa can take out this 3rd base, gonna be in a very good spot. Since no gas has been mined from it as of yet, but with the Mutalisks there, DaNa probably going to be forced to wait for the reinforcements before going back in. And this time, DaNa not going for the 3rd, heading straight up towards the natural base. There are some banelings there, but of course with that carapace upgrade, the Zerglings can stream through and take up one of those baneling hits. Also attacking at the 3rd base. The Queen getting attacked, but will get focused by the lings. LiveZerg with some more Zerglings of his own out will be able to defend that. Keeps up his 3rd. Meanwhile, DaNa only just now finishing up his 3rd base. But that's not the end of the world, because this 3rd base has only been used for production currently by the Vega player. So, things looking pretty equal. LiveZerg slightly up in the worker count by 4, but not by an astonishing amount. We do have, though, poking and prodding coming from both sides. The Muta count sitting at 17. The carapace upgrade a long way ahead, though, for DaNa. So that means that now any Mutalisk trade will massively go in the Mind Sanity player's favour, especially with these lings underneath the arm. The army's just going to soak up some more of those bouncing glaives. So that is very nicely done by DaNa at the moment. LiveZerg way behind in terms of those upgrades. 50 seconds through of 160. Going to take a long time to level that out. But still, DaNa with a nice army, nice upgrade lead, going to be putting in a lot of damage. Flyer attack is going to be very close to getting finished, as, of course, unfortunately, LiveZerg doesn't even have the carapace upgrade. So, the additional gas is now getting mined, and this is where things start becoming important. Getting those gases up gives you extra Mutalisks per minute. That's the simplest way to think about it. So keeping your income, gas income level with your opponent, incredibly important. And that's really where we're seeing the fact that actually the Mutalisk count is identical. Both spending a similar amount, but the upgrade lead, which is still in effect, so helpful at the moment for DaNa. And that's why we're not seeing LiveZerg try to put on any pressure. So, upgrade-wise, +1 missile attack. Oh no, it was cancelled. I'm sure I saw +1 missile attack come down. But oh, we've got some links coming now into the main base of LiveZerg. Of course, the +1 carapace upgrade do help the trades. Meanwhile, Mutalisks attempting to engage a little bit here. A Spine-Crawler is picking away, but a Queen is able to go down. A couple of links coming around the top there. Also going to be attacking into the third base of DaNa, but with the Mutalisk coming back, should be okay to defend. Upgrades about to be leveled out. +1 flyer attack, though. Only 20 seconds away from completion now, which is going to just, again, put the Mutalisk upgrades heavily in favour of DaNa. Couple of links going to be streaming up in towards the main base, but only a handful. The workers killed still 3-1, so tiny differences for the moment. And there's the +1 flyer attack kicking in. That's going to help DaNa trade yet again, and going to make it very difficult for LiveZerg to do much. So, DaNa going on the aggressive, going to try and pick off a couple of drones. Nothing to defend here for the moment. The gas getting sniped down problematic, because that results in, obviously, less gas per minute, more mutas per minute for DaNa, and the trade going to be going off here. Of course, lots of lings and mutas fighting it out. The muta count, as we can see, tumbling for LiveZerg. That's due to the upgrade advantage of DaNa, and unfortunately that is likely to result in this game being over, and DaNa leveling up the series 1-1. There we go, GG Cold. That +1 attack upgrade really worth its weight in gold, as we saw there.